Hey, what is up, nation? In this session, we're going to be modeling a tire in Sketchup. Alright, so I found a picture of a tire online, and this is going to be a monster truck tire. I think in some respects it'll be easier to model, or at least won't take as long, but it'll show you the same sort of concepts, because these are sort of bigger shapes. So what I'm going to do is actually save this. It's a Google image. I'm going to just save it to my desktop, and then we're going to import it into SketchUp. So I have a new file of SketchUp here, and then I'm just going to go to File, Import, make sure that I have image selected. Select this. I will then have a little reference in here, just that I have this in the file as I'm working. I don't have any sort of idea what the size of this is, so for now it's not really going to make too much of a difference. Let me just rotate this up. Okay, so this little bit of a reference. So let's say if there's like half of this, so if there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So let's say there's, 45 sides. So let's say there, we'll put a little circle here. And then again, using the offset tool, we'll go to about there, we'll delete this inner portion. Now what I want to do is I want to add little teeth. So when you draw a circle, the circle is actually made of a bunch of line segments. So when I chose sides, it made a bunch of line segments here. And when I select it, it's going to select all of those segments because it's part of a circle. But we're not going to be extruding. Like, that's helpful if you're doing a follow me, if it's one curve, because then you don't have to select every line. We're not doing that in this case. So what I'm going to do is explode the curve, and then you can select each individual line segment from there. So what I want to do is sort of draw like this shape. So it looks like there's, okay, so there's like a point. Let's choose the midpoint here, and then come down to the center. And that's just going to give us a location that should be between for both of these. Okay. So we have this guy, and then we can delete this line. And again, we just want to make sure that we get that circle in here, and we'll delete that. Okay, so we have this guy. Now what we can do is select that. We should be able to get the center. I'm just going to keep a little line there. I'm going to select this, hit Q for the rotate tool. We're going to go from here. We want to skip one and go to there. So if I do 22, yeah. So unfortunately, I have one too many. So let's. I did 45 sides, so let's do 44. And I'm just going to put little tick marks, just going across here. And I'll just make little tick marks where we had our circles, just so I don't have to redraw any of that stuff. And then I'm going to have to get rid of that as well. Actually, this would be a little quicker if I press E to pull up the eraser tool. Then I should be able to double click on these. Okay, so center, I want to do 44 sides here. One circle, one circle, one circle. Okay. Let's go to here. We're at the midpoint to the center here. All right. Choose this. And then let's do times 22. Okay. Then we just need to use the eraser tool. I press E there to bring that up. And that's giving me these little tread marks. Okay, So the other thing to notice is that there's a few different curves going here. So as these tires go back that way, they are curving a little bit. So we're gonna try to do that. And then there's like a little bit of a bow here as the tire sort of wraps around. So we're gonna try to do those things in separate steps. But what I'm gonna do here is make this a little bit more out. Again, let's choose this here and here. And we'll go out, I don't know, let's say 4 inches. We'll try that out first. Okay. Something like that. That could be okay. So now I'm going to do the same thing I just did. Maybe we'll, actually we don't need a line there. If I select this, times 22, you can see that I actually, let's do this. Oops. So I'm just going to close this shape off, and then I'll be able to just select this shape and go all the way around. Now the reason I'm doing that is because, in my opinion, it will be quicker than drawing each line. What I can do is I can just use the eraser tool and go over these really quickly. So this all seems pretty good to me so far. And then what I want to do is just choose a few different increments. So if I choose the thickness of, let's say the thickness of this side is about there. What I want to do then is choose a few increments that are evenly spaced to sort of rotate this. So, and the more that you choose, the more fidelity your object will have. So if I, what I did there is I selected this and then came down to here. And then if you hit the divide symbol, the /, you can choose a number, and what that'll do is give you some locations that you can then alter. So you want to try to figure out something that makes sense for what you're doing. For this, let's say we do 6. It'll make it a little bit more smooth. So I go to the front here. It's hard to select everything because I have perspective on. So if I choose parallel projection, we're going to lock this. Just right click on that. Actually, because it's an image, I have to explode it, and then I can group it, and then I can lock it. That way I won't delete it when I go through and delete all of these things. So just to count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I have 6 layers. But I just want to deal with one for right now. Let's say what we want to do is get from one tooth mark here. Let's say this is directly across. So what we want to do is be able to get in those 6 sort of moments that we have, we want to get from this tooth to the next tooth. And these widths should be the same because of the way that we started this. So we need to figure out the distance between them. So if I choose the center here, it's about 8.2. Oh no. So what is it? 16.4. So we want to do a little bit of math. Let me pull up a calculator really quickly. If we have 16.4 divided by 6, 2.7. So we'll do that. Take this guy. Make sure that you get the center point. .773. 73. Okay, so we have that guy. Now what you want to do here is push pull that up. So I hit P here to push pull. And what you can actually do if you select this face first is you can select that face and then hit P. And then what that'll allow you to do is select your point so you can have the same increment. And then we want to do the same thing. Let me get that little center point back. I'll just go vertically with this so I can just select it quickly. So again, take this, 2.73. Again, select this face, push pull up that distance, 2.73. Okay, so we have 3 tiers. Pressing the plus or the up arrow on my keyboard, that's just going to give me the ability to lock to the blue axis, so I'm not struggling with that. And so the thing that we want is for, press the up arrow here, is we, oops, if I draw a vertical line here, what we want is for this point here to end over here. So we're just going to keep doing this. So we have 4. It should be 2 more if our math is right. .7. Oops, a little bind. 2.73. Okay, so we went in the wrong direction there because of the way that we rotated. So again, press here, make sure that you start in that direction, 2.73. Three, 4, 5, and then this one should be the last one. Select the face, push pull up, select the face, press the up arrow, start to move, 2.73, and I think, is that it? Let's check really quick. So if I delete this line, I want to make this a group really quick and then make that a component. So if I bring this up and then rotate it so that this is here. Yep. So we went all the way around, and now we have this motion, but this is actually going in the other direction. So if I flip this along the blue and bring it down, you can see that we get those reverse directions going. So this is a good start. I actually think this might be a little too big. I don't think these are as deep. I think they, like in the middle here, I think they're deep, but I think up in here they're not as deep. So we'll fix that. I'm just going to work this off to the side here. But basically, this is a good start for what we're doing. The first thing that I want to do is, you can see we have a bunch of lines in here, so we're eventually going to want to get rid of those. But I want to just smooth this out a little bit. So what I'm going to do is, this shape I like, I just want this to sort of like go up a little. So if I select these lines here, I should be able to slope it. So I select this and then move in, let's say we put a midpoint. We'll get a midpoint here. So if I take this and then go to the midpoint here, this should give us a decent, I think maybe we deselect this guy. We'll see what this looks like. Okay. So it looks okay. We just need to get like half the distance vertically, I think, in here. So what I'm going to do is M. Actually, let's draw a line between here. And I just want the line, so I'm going to keep that. And then take this line and go to the midpoint. Delete these extra faces. And then what I'm going to do is take this. And just draw like another shape, basically, or another line off of that. So that then I can move this to the point that I want. And that way it's just going to add a little bit more, it's just going to make this a little bit smoother between these. But this is something that I'm going to want to massage as we do this. So I think it makes sense to just take all of this and actually turn it into a component as we sort of like work through it, because I think the overall shape is working. We just don't want to get stuck with something that we don't want. We want the ability to to be able to change this pretty quickly. So what I'm going to do is edit, paste in place, select this off to the side just for now. I'm going to make this a group and then make that a component and say tire inner. So that's the little inner piece that we're going to have. And then as we go through here, we'll just select these faces and delete these pieces. And then just using E for the eraser tool, which helps me very quickly be able to just erase these extra lines that are in here. So we have all that going on. And then I could do the same thing in here as well, because I don't actually want any of these. What I've decided to do now is to just do a component. So all the pieces that I did before are going to have to go away. So let me just erase on both sides of this so that it's clear to me which of these is the component. Okay, I'll take this guy, put him, make sure that okay. Okay. Yeah, so what I want to do here is press E, and I'm just holding Control now. And what that's going to do is it's actually going to smooth this out. That way, it's just smoother. Okay, so that should be the point that I want to move this to, just to make it a little bit more subtle. Take this and put it here, and then if I turn hidden geometry off, it should be a lot smoother looking. Now, all these other things that we're going to do, we might as well just include those as we go around. So let us, since this is going to be a component, so I think, actually this might be a better way to go about this. So if I select all of this, just really quickly, I'm going to hit Control C to copy and then go into this group, edit, paste in place. There's a lot of extra stuff in here that I don't actually want. I just want this teeth here. And so I'm going to delete the stuff that I don't want. And if you just or erase one of the connecting pieces, it makes it really easy. Then you can triple click on other things and get rid of them much quicker. For this guy, I'm going to smooth this as well. So I hit E here, holding Control, and it's going to allow me to smooth that edge, and then smooth this top edge, and then we want to do this side edge here. Just gives you a really quick, you actually can't see it here. Hit Control X. What I want to keep is this, and the bottom. So I'm going to make those a group, copy this off, let's say 10 feet, that way it's just out of the way. Explode this, triple click so it selects everything that's connected. And then we have this guy, and then I can bring this back 10 feet. And then reverse face. You always want to make sure that if you can have the white face showing. So now that we have this, we need to find the center point. Okay, times 22. And that way we get this guy. So our tire is looking much more like the image here, because we have, let me just actually rotate this. Press Q here. One. Okay. And then move this down. Something like that. Make this a group. So our tire looks pretty decent. What we want to do now is we want to add a little bit of a bow, and we need to go all the way through and make sure that it's actually a tire. And I think there's actually like a bow in this direction. Just thinking. Come in here, we're going to do 1/8 of an inch for, or maybe we'll just do an inch. What does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? What does 6 inches look like? I don't think we even have 6 inches. Yeah, I just want to choose an increment that kind of makes sense. So if this is, let's say 0.6 inches. Yeah, let's do 0.6. That way it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0.5. 0.3. 0.2. 0.1. So we got a little bit, and then this guy, let's make it a little bit. Do I need these lines? Yeah, I think I still need them. So, let's do like 2 inches here, maybe. 1.75. 1.5. 1.25. 1. 0.75. So if we turn hinge geometry on, it should look a little bit better. If I choose this guy, I can actually explode this now. I think that's okay. This looks a little bit more convincing. I actually might want to like squish this a little bit. That seems okay. Something like that. And then what I want to do is add this like bevel, and it actually goes in. Okay, so I was having a bunch of issues trying to go about this the way that I thought that I was going to be able to go about it. So what I decided to do, because this is basically all these components are the same, is to break down this component here and just construct the tire using that. Because basically what I want to do is get this to curve and then curve in here. I tried some different plugins. I was thinking about using Soapskin, but Soapskin couldn't figure out how to subdivide it. I was thinking about using Artisan, but Artisan wasn't working. And so I figured, you know what? I think I can actually do this if I just make this component. So let's just think about it that way. So we have this guy, and then what I want to do is do something like that. We have that little pink line. This should work. Just bring this up there. Okay. So there's something like that going on. Now, what I want to do is let's actually subdivide this or divide it. Let's try that. I don't know how many that was. Times 5. Okay, so that works. I think. Let me check. Is this is not subdivided. This is 5. Now if I subdivide this by 5, is this the same as that? No. Okay. Okay, so now we have those lines there. And then I think if we do something like that, I think that'll be... So we'll leave these the same. This guy I want to actually bring down, so let me turn on hidden geometry here. We do something like that. Let's divide this. Let's go like there. Looks pretty good. So we'll just move this down. Then we want to move this guy up. And the trick here is just making sure you're going in the right direction. So if I select, so if I go, let's try half an inch. This should work. We'll say the peak's around there. 1.5. So let's say this one is our peak. And then again, we can do the same thing that we did before and just sort of smooth this out. So hit the eraser tool. That'll just give us a better indication of what this actually looks like. Make sure that hidden geometry is off. You can see we get this line between them. If we select this, and then right click and do hide. And we're going to want to make sure that you don't see any of these little lines here. But I think right now you start to get that bulge, and then we're going to just round this in a little bit. I think turn view hidden geometry on. If I take this and just delete this, something like that. Actually, let's try this subdivide tool here. Same thing here. I think this is actually okay. I think we just want to move it to be more something like that. Now, if I was to take this and just go straight down, that's kind of what we're dealing with. Again, taking geometry, we just want to make sure we hide these edges, especially if things aren't lining up correctly. So we get something like that, and then just really quickly we can come in and make this deeper if we want. That seems pretty good. Maybe a little bit, let's do that amount of shallow. And then I'm going to turn hidden geometry off for this. I want to inspect to see sort of what's going on. Looks like the right and the left side aren't quite meeting up. So what I'm going to do here is make them meet up. Okay, so what I was doing there is just connecting points so that there's no gap between them. And then what's nice about doing it this way is I can round these a little bit. So let's say I want to do this a little bit smoother than some of the other. So I'm just going to hit save here. If I want this to be a little bit smoother, so I'm getting a little bit of an issue here in geometry. Delete that, and then this guy, I just want to make sure it just comes all the way across. I don't think we need anything fancy. Should One, this is one. Okay. There you go. What I want to do here is come out of this group, draw a circle, goes to here, and then offset it just a little bit. Let's do something like that. And then we should be able to bring this all the way in. Choose in geometry here. Let me just move this all the way in. There. Edit paste in place. Then move this all the way in. Okay, and then offset. Delete this middle portion. And then I should be able to just pull this to there. If I turn this off, and then just from this side, I won't actually need that. I should be able to make this a group, cut, go into this group, paste in place. Okay, some clipping, so we're going to turn perspective on, and that's just going to make this look a little bit nicer. Now I want to get rid of this line between them, so I'm just going to select that line, hit hide. Now it looks like a continuous piece going all the way through. And there's our tire with a little bit of a bevel on the outside, a little bit of curve going in, and I think it looks pretty close to what's going on in here. I think this could actually probably come out. It's probably more like that. Yeah, so hopefully you guys liked this video. If you did, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. And as always, happy hacking.